Hey, what is up, guys? It's PDS. As you guys may know, last week I did participate in the Remote Duel Invitational Qualifier. So for this event, you had to qualify from a previous qualifier. So it's kind of weird. You have to win the invites to qualify for the qualifier to play in the Remote Duel Invitational. So basically, it's like 3 layers. You got to win the smaller event, then you got to win the qualifier, and then you get invited to the actual Remote Duel Invitational. So I played in it. I woke up and I had to choose whether I wanted to play TCG or Duel Links. So I went ahead and played Duel Links because I just felt like I had played Duel Links way more than I have been playing TCG, and I'm not really a fan of the current metagame in TCG. So I was like, all right, I'll just go with Duel Links. So I'm gonna show you guys my decks, and then I'm gonna talk about my my run. So obviously, the first deck that did really well for me was Luna Lights. I think this deck is insanely powerful. Especially if you're a budget player. It's really underrated. Of course, this list is optimized. It has a bunch of URs, but you don't have to play it exactly like this. I really like this card because if you draw it with the Sphere Karibo, you have an answer to Swordbreaker, which is what a lot of people play to beat this deck. So if you guys don't know what Swordbreaker does, this card allows you to declare a monster type, and then anytime this card battles that monster type, it instantly destroys it. So it's really powerful against the Saber Dancer. So if you have these 2 cards, you can go ahead and put it in defense mode. So it's 1000 defense, and then he has just enough to beat over it. So that was one of the ways I was able to get rid of Swordbreaker, along with you're playing your Tiger King and your Malevolent Sin. So this deck did extremely well for me. I usually went with it the first game because there was a lot of people. Obviously, they wanted to win, so they start with Onamats. Onamats is one of the best decks. So this deck was able to swiftly beat them. So the next deck I played was Thunder Dragons. Of course, Thunder Dragons. I'm a big fan of Thunder Dragons. Shoutouts to GN. Also a Thunder Dragon enthusiast. So this deck is pretty straightforward. Nothing really insane about it. I don't play the larger deck count because I want to see my Levineer more often. So yeah, nothing really too special about this deck list. Next, the other deck I played was Triomid. So Triomid, what is it? I forget. Anyways, so this deck list, pretty straightforward, nothing crazy. I only have one Gorgonic. Yeah, I only had one Gorgonic Guardian. I didn't really go too much into this box because I was waiting for Arc V. So I went only with Gemmies, no money on that box. So yeah, this deck was extremely good for me, especially when I saw they're playing Thunder Dragons. I just went with this deck and I was able to swiftly beat them. So the other thing was I was playing Arby's Underground, but I also played Balance because I wanted to consistently beat the Thunder Dragon matchup. So I went with Balance, Triomid as well. So yeah, this was my Balance list that I played. It's very similar. It's just I played Canadia, I believe, instead of I think it's just Canadia. I added Canadia. Yeah, so that was my deck. And then I also played Cyber Dragons because Cyber Dragons, you guys know, Cyber Dragons is just insane. So I went with this a lot of the games. Sometimes I was playing it like this without the Storm and the Drowning, and then I was putting in 2 Amano. So as you guys know, you can side deck. So I was switching between these kind of Sidra variants. Amano is really strong against like those decks that have all those hand traps like Thunder Dragons and Fire Kings. So that was my Cyber Dragon deck list. And of course, guys, these are all extremely optimized decks. So if you're like, oh my god, this guy's rich, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just showing you the decks I played, basically. So then the other deck I played was, of course, I had to whip out the Onamats. When I was in times of need, I had to switch to the Onamats. So this was my list. No Gagago wins. It worked out really well for me, honestly. And then I was switching between these or Lance depending on the matchup. And yeah, so those were the decks I played. I had a lot of success with the Luna Lights and the Cyber Dragons and the Treatments. I was playing those 3 the most. And then when I was getting kind of messed up, I would switch to the Onamats. So yeah, let me go through my tournament report. So round 1, I 3-0'd the guy pretty swiftly. So I was able to just chill for a little bit. And then round 2, I made it all the way. So it's a best of 5, of course. So I made it up to game 5 and I beat him. So I was like, okay, thank gosh. Round 3, I once again 3-2. So once again, I made it to match 5. So I'm 3-0 at this point. Then I play against Drizzles. He's one of the German. He's a member of the German community, obviously part of our community as well. He's pretty well known. He 3-0'd me, absolutely crushed. So now at this point I'm 3-1. So I was like, okay. So then round 5, I played against this guy playing some really weird Automat deck with like Xyz counter, and he was main decking like DD Crow and Dweller. So it was a really strange deck, but for some reason I wasn't able to draw well, so I went 2-3. So at this point I'm 3-2. So I was like, oh man. So that's not a good record, as you guys know. So I was like, I wonder if I'll make top 8, and I did squeeze into top 8. So in top 8, I played the same guy that I lost to, and I beat him 3-1. So that was really nice. And then in top 4, I 3-0'd my opponent. And then in the finals, I played against Zaid King, and I went 1-3. So I ended at second place out of the whole event. So that was really cool. I was not expecting that in the slightest after my Swiss run. So yeah. So I did end up actually winning the invites to the Invitational, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and post the actual pricing here. So we have first place was able to get an iPad. So you know, it's kind of interesting. I honestly think that the Duel Links prizes are better than the TCG ones, because only first place gets like a Nintendo Switch for TCG, and then second place just gets packs. So alright, so here is the Duel Links one. So we got first place, so Zaid got his iPad. He got an invite to the Invitational, which is I believe next month. He got a Blue Eyes White Dragon pin. He got the patches, the Blue Eyes White Dragon Field Center, and he got the game mat, which is an actual play mat, not for in-game, of course. So then I won the iPad, but with less gigabytes. So we were basically just fighting for gigabytes in the end. And the same thing. And then you guys can see the prize breakdown for the other places if you're interested. So yeah. There was actually 2 of them. So there's going to be one for North America, and there's going to be one for Latin America. So that should be sometime next month. And of course, that also means that you guys will be getting a face reveal. So I don't know if I should do it here on Duel Links, or on Duel Links Entertainment first, or if I should just wait for the Konami stream. But regardless, I'm pretty excited, honestly, guys. I saw you guys wishing me good luck in the comments, so I hope I didn't disappoint you. I'm sorry I couldn't bring it home, but obviously, you know, I was playing against the GOAT Zaid King, so it was a little bit more difficult to win that finals. And here's just the TCG prizes for some comparison. So as you can see, for TCG, obviously there's way more participants in the TCG as well, so it's kind of weird just seeing the prize differences. So for first place, they get a Nintendo Switch, they get the game that comes on the Switch, that came out on Switch, I should say. They get the invite, they get the field center, and they get the mat. So I would say we got more, right? Because then look at second place, they only get 24 booster packs of Dawn of Majesty, so that's about, you know, like 60 to 80 bucks value, and then obviously the rest you can see the prize breakdown. So honestly, I think the Duel Links, I mean, for first and second, I think Duel Links definitely wins, but for the rest, I think I don't know, maybe, well, you do get an invite for third and fourth on Duel Links, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, guys, you guys can compare the pricing here. And what do you guys think of my decks? What do you guys think of my run? Just a quick shotgun cards that I want, or things that I want to be changed for the next ban list. They really need to address automats. I think they need to balance you know, just decks that would be good later on. So I basically share a lot of the same opinions as Kamel. So if you guys seen Kamel's video, I think I share the exact same opinions, except I would also add that I think Destiny Draw definitely needs to be changed just a little bit. You know, maybe make it 1,000. You have to be at 1,000, or maybe like some crazy like 500. Like that skill is just absurd. Like how much it warps the way you play. Like anytime you see Yami Yugi, you literally can't even attack with anything over a 2,000 attack. Like I think that's just kind of silly. So I want to give a huge shout out to Stevie and Little Hormagon for testing with me. They also will be in the Invitational. Of course, Stevie is going to be in the NA one, and Little Hormigon is going to be in the Latin America one. So thank you guys for testing with me, and thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.